Okay, so for the electric on this song, I'm starting off on my middle pickup here. As far as effects go on this one, I have just a really slight overdrive, like a really low kind of tube overdrive, and then I have a pretty good delay and Hall type reverb on it, so it makes a real nice. And so yeah, the echo and the delay kind of carries out really far, but that's to kind of fill in for the tempo of the song, which is somewhere around 77, I think, BPMs. And so you kind of really want to fill that space, but not with a crazy effect, not for it to sound too modded. You just kind of want to give it that open feel to it. And so that's what I'm using in for pretty much the intro, the verse, and the chorus, and even when we get to the bridge. The only other thing that I'll do is when I go to the solo portion in the bridge is I'll kick into a little bit more heavy overdrive and just kind of pump up the reverb in there to give it a more you might not really be able to hear too much of the overdrive, but again, it's pretty subtle. And the point is to just kind of make it sound a little more full and a little more big for this song. For the verses, I'm not actually doing much of anything. I'm just maybe really, really quietly going between my first two strings open, the B and the E, just kind of just to add a little, like a walking sort of a texture to it in the beginning, and just not really do anything with there, because you really want the vocals to stand out with what the keys is doing, and then the acoustic is just really lightly arpeggiating, and so you want the vocals to really start to carry this song. Once we get to that little pre-chorus section with that, which is what the acoustic is doing, I just kind of wait a little bit, and there's just this little line that goes, it's on your first string, your E string, open, and then the 7th up to the 9th. On the B string, you're going to go to the 9th. That's the I will wait for you. And then it repeats, and then you go down one whole step on the ending of it. So it'll be the open E. And that'll take you straight into the chorus. For the chorus, I'm not, again, doing too much the first time around because you want the vocals to kind of carry this. And so I'm just really lightly, again, kind of diddling on not really trying to stand out, because the whole band is coming in really strong when the second verse comes in. And so I'm just kind of hanging back. And so what I start doing then for the verse, when we get back into the verse, is I'm kind of just playing these open chordal type things. And so first string, pinky on the 4th fret, open second string, open B, and then my pointer is on the 2nd fret of my 3rd string, my G string here, my G string. And for the verses, I just kind of arpeggiate that. And there's really just that one, and there's a second part to it, which is I slide down, pointer finger then goes to the 1st fret of the G, and then my pinky, I mean you can use your pinky or your ring, whatever, I just kind of leave it there, and I pull it down to the 2nd fret. So it sounds like this. And I'll really just go between those. The pre-chorus will go like this. You hang on this for a while. And then you kind of slide down to that, and then up to, it's basically just a B chord, but I'm just playing the first 3 strings. So ring on the 4th of the G, pinky on the 4th of the B, and then pointer finger is just kind of barring the 2nd fret here. So it'll go. So in the pre-chorus it sounds. Repeat that. That's pretty much all I do, and I'll start to dig into that a little more and just kind of build it up. And once we get to the bridge, it's really just the keys, the acoustic guitar, and the electric. What I'll do is I'll just kind of add in this little. It's basically like a D shape slid up to the E position. So the 4th fret here, and then the 5th fret. So just like a D, and you slide it up a whole step. And I'm just basically going to be on this 1st string, the 4th fret here. And I'll start off on the 5th fret and just go down to the 4th, a half step. So. And then when they hit the C sharp minor, I'm pinking up here on the 7th fret, back to the 4th, back to the 5th. So pretty simple. Once we do that one time, and then the bridge repeats, I'll add in this 5th fret on the B, which is just an E note here, and I'll just kind of strum it a little bit more. Hit that. Okay, and then I'll kind of just dig into, right before the solo, I'll hit that. Straight into the solo. The solo is a really simple solo. Again, I just kind of kick up the echo and the reverb, and I'll just throw a slight overdrive on it just to kind of make it stand out. I'll also kick it up to the bridge as soon as I get to the solo. And it's really simple. The idea behind this solo is not to do anything fancy. To me, I think, this solo basically in this song, this is such a huge, you're as a part of the congregation, you're just worshiping now. And so you kind of don't want the guitar to start overpowering you or start distracting you. And so the idea for this solo, as a really simple one, which I really like, not to say you can't do something else, this is just the way that I do it, the way that Fellowship does it on Sons and Daughters recording. I'll just slide up on the B string to the 9th fret. And you really just kind of gotta, you really just go with the E there, that E sus chord. And you just kind of hang on that 9th fret sort of forever. And then I'll go down to the 4th, up to the 5th, slide up to the 7th. And then once they get to that A in the bridge, then I'll slide up on the 1st string, the E string, up to the 11th. And then up to the 16th on the E. And then up to the 19th. And as soon as the solo is done, I basically kick it back into my 1st patch. Or sometimes, I don't know, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll just leave it on that, that little overdriven state. And again, I'm just going back to playing the bridge part, but just I'll be strumming it more with 8th notes here. So right out of the solo. That's basically it. And then, again, right before we end the song on the high praise, I'm hitting that on the 5th fret here, up to the 7th. And this is pretty much just what I resolve on here. While everybody's high praising on the A, I just kind of hang here. Wait for the resolve to the E, and I just kind of hit it in this upper part here. Then I'll throw in the... and just kind of let that ring out once the band starts settling down.